After the snow comes plummeting temperatures. The first below zero readings of the season will arrive Tuesday and Wednesday. According to the National Weather Service, the wind chill Tuesday morning will be around minus 19 degrees in the Twin Cities metro. And that has some local places opening their doors to the community.
It breaks my heart, that, some of our people don't have that opportunity to have shelter, especially those who are homeless. So sometimes we try to see how best we can partner with Hennepin County.
Brooklyn United Methodist Church in Brooklyn Center is an official warming center. For the next couple of days, the church will be open around the clock so that people can get out of the cold if they don't have heat in their homes or they are homeless.
We have volunteers, in our church and in the community who are going to provide soup, who are going to provide food and blankets.
For a list of warming shelters, head on over to our website, ccxmedia.org. The Plymouth City Council will get their first look at plans this week for significant changes proposed at the longtime Dundee Nursery gardening site. Plymouth has received plans to turn the 15-acre site into a large multifamily housing development. The project is slated to include market-rate apartments, a medical office building, and a public park. According to city documents, a potential developer could close on purchasing the property next year. In Brooklyn Park these days, a dozen donuts just isn't enough. It's all about a bag or even a bucket of mini donuts. Eric Nelson has the story of a guy who's now famous because of his sweet treats.
But you guys, look what you did.
Right.
A Facebook post, a Fleet Farm setting.
I'm going to fill it up to the top and give it to you hot.
Perfect.
And some delicious donuts have created a sugar high in Brooklyn Park.
They literally melt in your mouth.
A couple weeks ago, Phil Lawrence set up a mini donut trailer in the shadow of Fleet Farm's familiar silo.
Spectacle in Brooklyn Park.
When news reached cyberspace, his business began to boom.
Everyone was posting photos, and the police department came out and got donuts.
It's an explosion of taste in your mouth.
People rave about Lawrence's mini donuts.
This is gonna be gone by the time I get home.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day.
Even on a cold December day.
People have even posted the best way to reheat the donuts and how to keep them for later.
Despite his growing popularity, Lawrence does not want the limelight.
It's all about you guys, the web page.
On Saturday, a parade of donut lovers showed up to buy a bag or a bucket of the tasty treats. It was a state fair type setting.
We're coming after you, sweet Martha.
Cody Jacobson runs Hopper's Mini Donuts. Jacobson spent 14 years working for Lawrence and set up a few feet away to help absorb Saturday's sugar rush.
We expect to see him at the Great Minnesota Get-Together, and here we're having the Great Brooklyn Park Get-Together, all because of these mini donuts.
Everybody thought I was getting on his turf, and then he said, no, come on down, it's going to be busy, it's going to be awesome.
The donut craze also had a positive impact on SEEP. The charity teamed up with Lawrence to collect food and clothing items over the weekend.
He's really brought the community together with his donuts.
In Brooklyn Park, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
One day.
Phil Lawrence has been selling mini donuts for 15 years, and in case you're wondering, it costs $5 for a bag and $16 for a bucket. It's the season for family photos. One Maple Grove business owner spends the fall taking as many as she can. As Corey Bork reports in this week's Business Matters, this photographer has an eye for the dramatic.
I love when it clicks and you're like, I got that picture, I got the pictures, I know how to photograph that person.
Every person has a story.
They tell their friends, they tell their family.
For Kristen Jones, every person has an angle.
I love that every time I have someone in front of my camera, it's a different and new experience because no one is the same. And I have to figure out their angle, right, to get their best picture. And that's where you get, any angle, that's where that came from.
An angle with a bit of creativity mixed in.
I love this picture because it's one of those lucky shots, right? Because I photographed her, the bus just happened to be going behind her.
Kristen works to find the right background.
So this is downtown in Loring Park, and we took this picture through the railing onto the bridge where he's standing.
Or provide the desired effect.
This was shot on a plain gray background, and we used dramatic lighting, and because we wanted him to pop, and then all the effects are added in Photoshop.
As owner of Any Angle Photography, Kristen does high school senior photos and plenty of family family ones, too.
Once I see pictures of what they like, then I can set the lighting up.
It takes a willingness to master lighting.
So if I don't have a person to practice the lighting on to see how it's going to look, I use this guy. This is my teddy bear. He's just the perfect height.
Plus the nerve to try something dramatic.
When you're shooting a dramatic picture, you want the hair on the back of the person's head. It's kind of called a hair light. It sort of separates the person from the background.
And let's not forget her most important tool.
This particular is a lens. It's a 24 to 104, so I can go really wide angle and I can go really focus in on people's faces.
But what you may find surprising is Kristen's passion didn't come into focus until only a few years ago.
It took me to age 50 to figure that out, but
her second act began after 25 years as an ultrasound technician.
You know, I guess I've always liked taking pictures because, you know, I took pictures of people's insides for 25 years, right? There you go. Okay, ready?
Transformation.
All right.
That was like magic. It turns out she has some.
Okay, that was good.
She made this reporter feel like a high school senior again.
Big smile again? You're much better smiling. Nice, that was good.
For Business Matters,
and you got more light here and you got
Corey Bork, CCX News.
All students at Noble Elementary School are learning how to speak the language of computers. Every student in the school participated in the Hour of Code last week. Students participated on computers, but they also used crafts and games to learn about patterns and codes.
I think it's very important that we also learn coding because it is, again, another path that all students are going to have to come across at some point in their future. So this was.
You can learn more about this on our website, ccxmedia.org.
The annual Breakdown Sports Tip-Off Classic featured a day full of boys basketball Saturday with ranked teams from all 4 classes in Minnesota competing. But except for a Champlain Park win in the morning, it was a tough day for local teams. Park Center facing Eastridge in one of the featured matchups Saturday evening. Dane Danger backs out of the double team, zips a great pass to Tavius Frierson. The hoop and foul in the early going. And it's Danger versus Ben Carlson. The featured matchup, Carlson powering in for 2 and a big night for him. Sophomore Kendall Blue dunks right over Danger in transition. The Raptors lead by 7. Danger showing great agility on the baseline drive on his way to a 24-point game for the Pirates. David Ajadamola with a setup. Danger hammers it down. Second half, Danger gives Carlson a little room and he pops a 3. The Wisconsin recruit is a 40-point game for the Raptors. Ajadamola with another assist as he sets up Frierson for the two-handed dunk. But the Pirates trail most of the way. And check out Danger attacking here for the monster jam plus the foul. Not enough though. Eastridge hands Park Center a 62-57 loss. Wayzata's boys basketball team was looking to bounce back from a season-opening loss to 7th-ranked Shakopee when they met another top 10 team in Class 4A, Eastview, at the breakdown. Good ball movement here by the Trojans, and they work it to Carter Bjerke, who hits the open three-pointer, and Wayzata leads 11-9. Eastview's Ryan Tyson goes baseline and dunks home 2 here for the Lightning, and they are up 36-27 in the first half. Right before halftime, it's Eastview's Tate Mahacek hitting a buzzer-beating shot, and that gives the Lightning a 56-43 lead. Second half, the Trojans' Cody Williams takes it to the basket, scores, and is fouled. But it's not enough this day against Eastview. Kenji Scales with a 3 from the wing. The Trojans lose to Eastview, 98-82 the final. Also at the breakdown, Hopkins played Shakopee, another top 10 matchup. First half highlights, Bruce Lockwood Jr. driving the lane, draws the contact and scores. Sabres up 12-5. Hopkins' Cordell Richardson hits a step-back three-pointer, and this hoop pulls the Royals within 4 points. Late in the first half, Andre Gray floats down the lane to score 2, and Hopkins down just 2 at 32-30. Will Cordes hit some big threes for Shakopee in the game. This one gives the Sabres a 40-35 lead at the half. And they come out strong to start the second half. Caleb Drovingo scores. Shakopee leads by 12. But the Royals rally. Kerwin Walton, one of the state's best. His steal and layup here gets Hopkins back within 5 points at 71-66. And with under 10 seconds to play, it's Walton with a three-pointer to make it 83-82 Shakopee. But those are the final points of the night for Hopkins. Shakopee wins 85-82. In girls hockey, Wayzata is having a very strong season. The Trojans are in the middle of a tough stretch of games, though. With a 7-2 record, they face 9th-ranked Hill Murray. Just as the Pioneers' power play ends, Nina Steigoff scores. Steigoff getting this goal, deflecting off of bodies and in. It's 1-0 Hill Murray. Second period, Steigoff picks up the loose puck and goes in alone, snapping the shot past Julia Kimlinger for a 2-0 Pioneers lead. Wayzata answers. Sloan Matthews is stopped, but Sophie Urban bangs away at the rebound and scores. That pulls the Trojans within 2-1. Hill Murray's Ava Stinnett scores in a rebound a few minutes later, though, and the Pioneers skate on to a 4-1 win over the Trojans. Wayzata plays Adidana and Maple Grove this week.
Ava Stinnett on the rebound. So just after they get